to Bloom in Full Color, where we live life in high definition. Jennifer Moss, PJ McGuire, and I've got Adam Thompson. So this was organically created this time. We were talking about dark Valentines because I'm sorry, I don't like Hallmark holidays. It's just not my gig. We don't really.
Everybody else does, Jen.
Oh, cool. Bitchin'.
That's
When
why
have I ever?
That's why Hallmark exists.
Actually, haven't we turned every holiday in this country into a Hallmark holiday? Like you have to spend money for everyone.
Exactly, and that's my
Oh, you
issue
mean
with it.
commercialist?
Yeah,
okay,
God.
And
gotcha.
I really have an issue with doing anything that people expect of me. I don't.
Yeah.
You bristle at said expectations.
Status quo.
Might be a millennial thing, maybe.
Maybe a defiance.
Yeah.
I'm a
Cultural defiance.
Cultural
Yeah.
defiance.
We're different.
I don't play the whole keeping up with the Joneses country club bullshit. I don't. I love people in that community. Don't get me wrong. I'm friends with a lot of them.
You do flowers there?
I do flowers there. A lot of them are customers. That's fine. But the mindset of that, I don't participate. So we were BSing on a previous podcast, and I made a comment about the statistics of the Moscow Pullman emergency room when I was in college. One of my professor's sons was a doctor in that ER, and the two busiest days in the ER up there were Valentine's Day and Mother's Weekend. Not Mother's Day. So Mother's Weekend. There's Dad's Weekend in the fall during football, and then there's Mother's Weekend in the spring. We won't go into Mother's Weekend.
In the ER?
So my question is...
In the ER. The ER,
okay.
the busiest days are Valentine's and Mother's Weekend.
In Moscow,
In Moscow Pullman.
So is it mothers stressing out and going to the ER, or is it everybody else stressing out over the mothers?
We're not going to talk about that because it's inappropriate and it has to do with fraternity porches.
Okay.
We're just going to leave it there.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into that because that was not my mother and it were not people I know, so I'm not going to speak for him. There was an implication that's inappropriate.
Okay.
That's a different podcast that Moss
and
Greenhouses.
a different channel.
Yeah, the Moss Greenhouses does not sponsor. Jennifer Moss might participate, and so might these two.
That's on our Tinder.
We're not going to be wearing our logos that day.
Find us on
Oh my God.
Plentyoffish.com.
We are very inappropriate occasionally.
This is going exactly where I thought it would.
It absolutely will.
Okay.
Especially
it's dark
if it's
Come back.
And Adam is going to keep us on task. Well done.
Someone has to be the adult here, I guess.
We, actually Adam and Zach, our producer, and I were kind of all loosely bullshitting indirectly that Christmas is actually based on
100%.
pagan holidays. And you and I've kind of loosely talked about this. Like, you decorate a tree.
Yeah, festive.
That has nothing to do with Jesus in any way, shape, or form. And so we started like, okay, what about Valentine's? Well, apparently, looking into our little history lesson,
also has pagan roots.
And murder and rape and pillaging. So
which is awful hard to sell a Hallmark card for.
And it's all based around fertility and love. So we want to talk about it. Like, where does Valentine's Day come from?
First of all, have you heard of Dark Valentine? Because when this was suggested, I had to go do research about Dark Valentine.
What'd you find?
Yeah.
Basically the same thing you did, basically, which I'm sure we'll get to.
Yeah, I was like, I brought my notes because
yeah.
I'm learning too.
Very much get to.
It's some twisted shit.
To be fair, and we briefly touched, but if you look at the history of modern holidays, almost every one of them was co-opted by religion.
Correct.
Based on what was already happening. So,
or an interpretation of religion.
Correct.
Or a religion taking something pagan and...
It was a compromise.
That's exactly right, because they were already having this party.
I was going to say bastardized, but your word is much better.
It was a compromise. There were Christian elements and there were pagan elements.
Or it evolved.
All of them.
Well, what they do is...
And that's why it got so weird. That's why we have Easter bunnies laying eggs kind of things, because it was very misconstrued. And that's exactly the story of Valentine's too, which love came out of it somehow. Chocolate came out of it somehow.
You're such a romantic.
I don't know.
And roses.
So Lupercalia is the holiday that it once was.
Yeah,
kind of what
or that was co-opted.
So part of NPR's research. So some of it starts in Rome in the 3rd century, as far as we can tell, and it was the Feast of Lupercalia.
Yep.
All right. And so it happened between the February 13th and the 15th, and it was the sacrifice of a goat or a dog, depending on which creature was unlucky that year.
And then you would beat your naked woman
beat naked women
with the skin
with the skin
of the
or
dog.
you cut a piece of the skin off and touch her with it so she's more fertile.
Yes. Which fertility is important in pagan
Fertility,
stuff
absolutely.
at this point in the year, because this is generously halfway between the solstice and the equinox. Okay.
Right.
So this is when people are
This is the cycle
going to
of
our
life.
previous podcast. This
Right.
is when people are amending their soil and really getting ready for
the beginning of the spring.
beginning of the
Yep.
spring. So that's why fertility is
That's
so
exactly
essential
right.
at this point in the year. Just
Growth,
want to plug that
life.
in there.
That's exactly
Well,
right.
and we are filming this towards the beginning of January. Now, mind you, this will air around Valentine's, but I was sitting in, one day before. So this will air on the 13th
Happy
of February.
Valentine's.
Happy
Yes.
Valentine's,
Sad
you
single
lovers.
people and happy lovers.
I actually,
and narcissists.
I'm gonna give you homework now. Do something that just brings you joy. If
Yeah.
that's violent, do it. If it's
You can't advocate
wonderful,
violence.
Disclaimer.
do it. And by violent, I might mean like go rip a shrub out of your yard. Okay, like
Yeah, get rid of the roses.
Jennifer's
Throw-
opinions are not necessarily that of management. Please do not hold Moss's Greenhouse responsible for anything Jennifer Moss says
Thank
during
you
the
for the
course of this
disclaimer.
podcast.
There you go. We're good,
Not
right? That's
responsible
covered.
for any actions. Good job. Our legal team will be very
Yes,
happy with you.
the lawyer in the corner.
Steve's over there like, damn it, Jennifer. Why did you throw that on the
Violence.
podcast?
Celebrate Valentine's Day with violence.
Well, I mean, so mine might be like purging my closet. It might be painting a wall. It could be I want to turn my phone off and read a book cover to cover and not talk to any humans whatsoever. Like
So
whatever it is.
self-love holiday is where you want it.
Bring happiness to
something
your
that
life.
brings you joy.
Yeah.
If you're okay, my brain went wildly inappropriate.
I know I liked you.
Rewind. There was a drink last night. There's a joke. It's a whole thing. Okay. Anyways.
No, but as opposed to spending money on.
Somebody have a modem going?
Yes, someone's faxing to one of the printers or something.
Someone's dialing up
Yes.
in 97.
You leave my AOL out of
I
this.
just had a time. Okay, so all of us just looked and heard a modem. I
don't
if
know
you're
what that was.
Generation Z, you have no idea what sound.
Yeah,
you're
sorry,
It's the
guys.
same thing as the rotary
Oh.
phone. Nobody knows what that is.
Okay, back on track.
Yes.
All right, so the Romans.
Oh yeah, let's talk about this because we.
Oh yeah, can we get to the name in the jar thing?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
The first
Go
key
for it.
parties. We
Forward a
found the
little
first key parties.
The first key parties.
Well,
what were
they said you
those?
put names in the jar, and that's who you got to hang out with
Oh,
for
yeah.
the weekend or
Yeah,
whatever.
which
Like
one was
the
that
first key
on?
parties sound like mid-century Roman.
Yeah.
Rains to the chariot
Yeah, it was
party.
like a
Yes,
coming of
yeah,
age
yeah.
thing.
Leave your horse bit in this ball, and then you can take it. Yes.
Yes.
The one I liked, which we didn't talk about previous, but the Constantine. So apparently, one of these Roman guys killed a couple of guys named Valentine.
Yeah.
Right. The first one we didn't talk about it was, at least in my research, whoever this Roman dude in charge was had outlawed marriage because in his mind, single men made better soldiers, and the Valentine dude kept marrying people, and so to punish him, he killed him.
He was a priest,
He
right?
was a priest, right?
Yeah.
Because that's how
Yeah.
you become a saint, right?
Yeah.
It was Father Valentine kept marrying people after the dude said no more marriage, and they put him to death. So that was one of the Valentines killed around this time. There's a second
Way to
saint
make a
Valentine.
martyr out of
Next
him.
year, same, right? Another
Something like that.
Valentine.
Supposedly that guy killed 2 Valentine guys
Yeah.
sometime around February, which is where maybe the Valentine's Day name came from. Which
Come on.
sounds.
I think
sexier
I
than-
read that they were both on the 14th.
Something-
that's what I
heard, too.
During this festival. 'Cause
And I
the
swear there was
festival
3
like a
Valentines.
There's Galantin or
Okay,
whatever.
So something close.
And that's where they think the name kind of converged because he's a symbol or the name means love. Is that right?
I heard
Valentine
something like
means
that.
Yes. it
Love.
does. So Emperor Claudius II executed 2 men, both named Valentine, on February 14th of different years in the 3rd century.
Nailed
Their
it.
martyrdom was honored by the Catholic Church with the celebration of St. Valentine's. So there the church comes involved. And then later, Pope Galasius,
Galantin, right?
Galasius
Oh, different.
first muddled things in the 5th century by combining St. Valentine's with Lupercalia to expel the pagan rituals.
Okay.
So back,
see,
Okay.
so on
So
to
we're-
Christianity, away from Christianity. Back
well,
to
no. So
Christianity,
St.
away from-
Valentine's Day was the Christian story.
Correct. And
Lupercalia
was
was
the
the
pagan.
pagans.
Yep.
And crazy, it wasn't Constantine. It was that other dude.
Yeah, right. Well,
Which-
Constantine did 2, and this guy did 1, right?
Well-
2 centuries later.
Let's split up the work.
Well, and it's different parts of Europe, right?
Heavy lifting, right?
Yeah.
Just spread it out.
Yeah, so basically it was like this was a drunken naked thing with the pagans and the Christians put clothes back on it.
See?
So like that was kind of the idea
Like the
behind the concept.
Michelangelo.
What's a pagan party without some skin, y'all?
That's the pagans, man.
Yeah.
Dance naked under the moon. I can get down with that. That seems a little bit more organic.
It's really
to me.
impractical. I mean, if you think about bugs and all the rest.
It's a little cold.
It's
a little chilly.
uncomfortable. Jen,
Nothing but high beams at these parties.
I
It's
feel like you
terrible.
know this.
I just don't care.
But I think going back, what I think people lose, it's all about spring. It's life.
Yeah.
It's starting seeds. It's a lot of
Fertility.
animals
has to
are
come
born this
before-
time, right? It all
before
ties
things
together.
Start.
But
Yeah.
there's still, like sometimes 8 feet of snow on the ground. So what else do you have to do except
Get naked and
cuddle
hit
up?
them with the skin of a
Ski.
dog.
You go skiing. You go skiing. Sorry, I'm having like a snow problem.
Yeah,
Third
you're
century.
all you skiers are
God,
traumatized
I am
this
having
year.
a real hard time. I bought a pass and everything, and I'm just like, God damn it.
Well, that's only because
Damn.
last year you had been skiing a month by now, right? That's why you're a little twitchy, right?
I
It
only
was
got,
opening.
I got one day in last year
Oh,
on one of the best snow years that they'd had in years.
right.
Because I was here being, having the life sucked out of me as a new business owner.
Yes.
So it was super fun. It's all right. We're
She
celebrating-
survived, though.
We're
Look, she's here.
celebrating new things. And I had some time off. So that burnout episode that we did right before I took time off, I actually feel like most of a person now. So
Good for
it's
you.
pretty outstanding.
Good for you.
So in the 1900s is when this kind of shifts into the warm and fuzzy thing that we have now. And that's like
When we're
started
trying
by
to start selling shit.
Shakespeare and
right?
yeah, that's when
When corporate-
commercialism comes
Mhm.
into it. So okay, let's find your
I think that was,
Constantine
like,
nonsense.
Shakespeare, right?
Yeah.
That kind of romanticized it
Yeah.
and made it pretty.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so let's talk about
Is
Shakespeare.
it even
Put a
pretty
little
though
polish.
It's
now?
not pretty. Like think
Or is
about
it still is it
think
desperate?
about Romeo and Juliet. Like that is a story of death,
Mm-hmm.
And teenagers.
Mm-hmm. Teen
and
angst,
suicide, and
murder. There was a bunch of
murder
murders
between the
Mhm.
families.
But now there's like the Leo DiCaprio pick, and it's wonderful.
It's hard to follow, though. It's
they
still
made
Leo,
it-
but I don't understand the words.
Hollywood made it sexy. That's what they
Yes.
did.
Just because they're rolling around in a convertible.
And Shakespeare was Hollywood of his time.
Yes, he was. He
Dare I say.
absolutely was. So let's go to the saints named Valentines. So they believed 2 saints named Valentines were the inspiration behind the holiday. Claudius, allegedly healed from, while in prison, he signed a letter that from your Valentine to a woman he
yeah,
allegedly
yeah.
healed from blindness.
Oh, it wasn't that the jailer's daughter that he fell in love with, and he
No
signed the card from your Valentine.
Idea.
That's
This
the
is
one.
all
that's-
you. Tell this story.
well, I don't know about this story, but depends on which page of Google you look on for your
Right.
reference. But that was when I heard the second Valentine that was killed fell in love with the jailer's daughter, and his last letter to the jailer's daughter before they killed him was "Love your Valentine," and that stuck throughout. Is one that was a Google research this morning. True or not, I don't know.
Doesn't
But
matter
that was
anymore.
per Google. Everything's true on the internet. We all know that.
Everything's true. all
There
the
is
time.
no
Correct.
false information on the
Should
entire
I
internet.
do the attorney
Yes, you
disclaimer at
should
this
totally.
point? Don't believe anything you read on the internet. Double, triple, quadruple check your
Yes.
sources. Also, don't ever listen to a politician on
we-
an advertisement.
We picked
Thank you, political
NPR, and where else did we get our
CNN.
information
I've
from?
got a
Yeah.
couple of news stations. I kind of went all over the place. What is the Constantine story? Can you start that one again?
That was
Well,
Easter
he
and
outlawed-
Christmas, and him. What did he outlaw?
Well, I don't know. I'm. What are you asking? I'm sorry.
No, you
the me thing
you
started.
kept mentioning Constantine. And
Well,
I'm
and I
super
could be.
fascinated by him as a human.
I
or
don't
as
know.
A historical figure.
I
should say.
wasn't sure what the guy's name was. There was some
Okay.
guy in the 3rd century that killed the 2. I thought it was Constantine the second
Oh,
or
so
something.
that was
He's the guy that killed the 2.
Emperor Claudius.
He was
Yes.
thinking of
Oh.
Constantine because that's the guy that did the Christmas job and the Easter
Oh.
job.
It could, and it
Got
could
it.
be.
Got
I
it.
might have
And so why
mixed up
wouldn't
my
you think that
Romans.
he did the?
Yeah, why
the
wouldn't he
Valentine's
assault
job?
another
No.
holiday? I mean, come on.
Right. He slaughtered 2
It
already.
gave him a lot of political
Cole-
leverage.
Yeah, Claudius.
He knew
There
what
we
he
go.
was doing.
Emperor
He's a smart
Claudius
guy.
the second.
It's all about religion, and religion's about control. And so when the population starts veering away, that you see the hierarchy go that way.
Well, okay.
Which is exactly
and
what
then
they did.
We talked about the names in a jar. So they were
Oh yeah,
paired
the
up.
tea party.
Yeah, so they'd have a festival where the men were lucky enough to have a woman drawn a name for them, and that woman was then forced,
It
not
was
the
young
man.
men. It was kind of like a coming of age thing.
Yeah, because it was
Okay.
a
like
matchmaking.
It was like
Yeah,
18 to
Did
22
you get
year
the
old.
impression in your research the women have no choice in this?
Oh
Did
yeah,
they ever?
absolutely.
Yeah, you're
Thank you.
stock.
Thank
Are you kidding me?
Thank you. Not me.
Yeah.
But sorry, I'm very pro women everything, and we are equals. If not slightly better because we've been ostracized for so long. That is a different high horse. I'll go on
another
day.
podcast.
It's fine. I'm very pro female, so at all times.
I'm not.
Okay, princess.
I'm kidding.
Yes, I know. So you had your name drawn as a female, and you were forced to hang out with some young gentleman who's very excited of his coming of age, and you have to hang out with this nice or not nice gentleman for the entire festival. And then at the end, if it's a good match, you are almost forced to marry him, is how I read it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, so it was like early matchmaking
Speed dating.
per no female rights, right?
Speed dating with rape.
Possibly.
Which is awful hard to write a pretty card about, in case you were wondering.
Yeah.
Like, how do you pretty up? Beat her with the skin of the dog you just killed.
Or
drag
goat.
her by the hair back to your place. That is a shitty card. I'm just saying.
It's a
Hallmark would have gone out of business a long
crappy
time ago.
card. There is not any way
No.
that's warm and fuzzy.
No.
So then you enter 18th, 19th century, and they're trying to like take this, Christianity is taking this on. They're, celebrating around love and fertility slowly. It evolves because things were at a much slower speed back then, right? Because you didn't have all that connectiveness between century
No internet?
countries. Yeah, God forbid. Or
Whoa.
cell phones.
Yeah.
Like you actually had to talk on a phone that had a cord in one place.
Yeah, the Roman Empire. Yes.
Yeah. Sir Claudius was would you like Claudius, sir? Oh, please hold.
Let me run across the castle. No big deal. But God, how it evolved is probably a little muddled. And you probably hear a different story depending on where you do your research. But then they turned it into $1 billion industry. Like every florist has
Makes
two
their
of the worst
annual
days of their
income.
year, and it is Valentine's and Mother's Day. And when I say worst, it means busiest and hellacious.
I'm literally trying to do research now. Where did red roses come into Valentine's? I just wonder
Where
if
did
that
red come in? Oh,
all of it's
I
like I'm
know.
literally
No,
trying to do
hold
the
on.
research.
Blood. The murder.
Probably.
Blood.
I'm sure you're not wrong, or
In time, I'm sure that's just kind of probably how it evolved.
probably that's I literally was trying to didn't.
I bet you red roses were like, what's the diamond company,
Jensen, yeah.
No.
Zales
Every
or
kiss begins with
no,
K.
the old one, yeah, that kind of associated diamonds with marriage.
Right,
And-
which made $1 billion
and
industry,
made them-
100%.
a bazillion.
Yes.
Yeah, so it was a
dollars.
rose grower, like the apple a day kind of
Probably
BS.
100% true.
A rose grower was like, oh, I see.
You know what we
This
should do? We should
perfect
sell these all as
opportunity.
Valentine's.
Yeah.
You're probably not wrong.
And then Nestle got in there and was like,
You know what goes good with Valentine's Day? Chocolate.
1913 is
and then
when
Thai Beanie Babies
Hallmark.
got in there.
Oh God, right? So there's all this chintzy commercialized bullshit
Right.
that's associated to this. And mind you, like I'm like every other woman, I'm thrilled to get a flower. Like as somebody who owns and runs a greenhouse, I still love cut flowers. My husband knows that, but I don't like roses, as I mentioned on 2 podcasts ago.
Even in a vase on the counter, not your thing?
You have no dried roses in your house from an event?
Uh-uh.
Wow. Okay.
Not one.
Okay.
I have no
I
plants in
gotcha.
my house.
No plants
No
at all
plants?
in
I
the
have
house?
one cactus.
One cactus.
One, and
Is
I water it
cucumber
twice a year.
Cactus? No, sorry. That was a
Nice.
different story. Different story.
Cucumber Thunder. That's a different podcast.
my
I had to drag her back
Sorry,
to my
I'm
level.
picking on a drink name at a
One
local
cactus?
restaurant.
Really? That's all you
One.
got in your house? That's cracking me up.
One. I actually, when I met my husband, he had a snake plant and a Chinese evergreen.
And you've killed them for him now?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
definitely did that. Yeah, so I adopted all the houseplants that we brought on a houseplant program. I had houseplants all through the house. They were pretty. And then this one get root rot. And then this one I kind of like forget about for a couple weeks and die. And then I'd overwater this one. And then this one, yeah. So it became a thing. And then I finally, when we were cutting our houseplant program, I was just
Done.
over it.
Yeah.
And so I got a hold of my friends and was like, adopt them. So I'm not the one responsible for killing them. And so all of my friends got beautiful plants.
Well, you made
and-
happy friends.
Yes,
That's
I
good.
did.
So
And I-
self-sacrificing.
Well, and my husband just looks at me. He's like, you just don't want to be responsible for killing him. I was like,
Yep.
Bingo.
This has become our Valentine's thing, is something that lasts more than the week, right? So our new Valentine's is something that will, so a house plant, a succulent bulb, something that has a more value than 10 days. So that's kind of where we've marked. That's maybe a card or something, but that's where we've gone with live stuff now, as opposed to half dead plant sexual organs. Yes. We go to more house planty, something that will last a little bit longer.
Well, and I would firmly believe in that. I think that it's fun to create your own thing. Now, if you're new in love, do not send your other party to the emergency room with violence. Perhaps. I think that's probably the
I
end
looked
message.
into that a little bit, and Psychology Today said that wasn't actually the case.
Oh, I'm talking about one single ER room in Idaho,
Moscow,
where it happened.
But
this was also back in the early 2000s, because I'm in college for a minute. So I was up in Moscow from 2003 to 2008. The professor was Professor Jim Clark, and it was his son, and he was like a marketing public relations wizard. He was a god in that industry. He still, after he left the business and became a professor, still held Mitsubishi as one of his personal clients. He had all Japanese. He was one of the most inspirational men I've ever had the grace, the luck of to know. He was incredible. I mean, I don't have very many teachers that I can say that about, but that man was incredible. And when he passed, it was he was the guy. He was so blunt. He didn't grade your papers. You gave yourself a grade. So you turned in a paper, double spaced white, and you got it back, and it was bloody with just all of him challenging every single one of your thoughts. And he's like, did you think about this? Did you think about this? You graded yourself at the end of the class, and you always grade yourself harder at the end.
Oh, yeah.
And he was such a fascinating man. He smoked. And he had lung cancer. He's like, tell me I should quit. I don't care. It's my life. And then he had moved to Moscow because his son was the ER doctor over in Pullman Moscow hospital. And so he was just one of those guys. So you give him something like Valentine's, he would have just poked holes in everything. He challenged everything. So that defiance, that disruption approach.
Just a cynic, though.
Oh, I loved it. It was so fun. And it was so much. It was so interesting because you left class and you were just like,
everything is meaningless.
Holy
the world's
crap.
a vapid hole.
Well, he wasn't too cynic. He would challenge all of it. He did not follow the status quo.
Are you sure?
Yeah, exactly. Did you think about what about this? What about this? What about this? And you're like, I didn't think that far. I was hungover when I did this assignment. Leave me alone. Typical Moscow.
Like a perfect guy to be pushing college students, right?
It's great.
Expand the mind, right? Get you out of your comfort zone.
Well, and I am one of those people that I lean into that. I don't want the blanket generic answer. You can give it to me, fine, and I'll give it to somebody if I don't care. Absolutely. It's your auto default.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the standard formatting that comes up with Word. I hate the margins the way that they are standard in Word. I always change them to narrow.
Valentine's Day.
I know. I'm sorry, squirrel.
No, I was just going to say.
Adam's known me for a long time.
Psychology Today said that actually Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, actually there is a significant drop in domestic violence.
Really? Because of Valentine's?
Yes.
Oh. Well, because of holidays. What were you going to say, Zach?
It kind of goes with, I found some Valentine's facts that were interesting, and one goes with one of those, that there's a marked increase in adultery in the following weeks.
They didn't account for adultery in the
weeks. I had to buy that bitch roses. I'm doing the neighbor. Okay.
Yeah.
So Valentine's is kind of like a last ditch effort to keep the home together.
That's like Christmas is a big partner dumping time.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Divorce rates skyrocket.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of trouble to go to save a present.
Well, think
it's
about the
because
in-laws.
You basically have a guaranteed day that you're going to be happy and be around people that support you. Following that, so you're like, bye, and then you go open presents, and there's still a dopamine.
So your support system is set up, and
that's
your safety net is there.
So
yeah,
for all of the optimists in the audience are going, oh, right now, These are facts and statistics. That's all we're saying. We're just presenting information.
It's just
Or what else?
None of it's
Yeah.
true,
Verbalizing
but
a
all of it
graph.
is.
Nothing is wrong on the internet.
We're just going with statistics. I am a walking, breathing, counter to a lot of statistics, as I don't follow status quo. So
That's fine.
you can balk the trend. It's okay. I mean, I'm in a very happy, very wonderful marriage that we work very hard on. He did very good for anniversary gifts, does a great job. He even does the Valentine's flowers and all the cheesy things. He's really good at it. I don't care, though. It doesn't really matter.
That's not your break.
Well,
Take it or leave it point.
let me go skiing. Let's cook our favorite meal.
Well, you're
let's
much
go to-
more of an experienced
I
person
am.
than a
Experience
gift.
gifting.
Yeah,
take me to the soak and poke.
Yeah.
You've
Sorry.
actually taught me a lot about that. No,
Yeah.
you have. Like I've told the story about
Yeah.
you with the kids, right? What'd you
Yeah.
get for Christmas?
Mm.
What'd you do on your birthday? Oh, we went here and there. Like
Yeah.
I tell that story because that's
It's important.
it's a big
It's
deal.
important. So you can create your own traditions. You do not have to follow what
You don't have to
commercial
buy
America
stuff.
Let's,
You don't have to
capitalism.
buy stuff.
I have another fact that goes right
Let's
along with
hear
that
that.
you might like.
I liked your adultery fact. That's
there-
kind of fun.
That was awesome.
It was
During
dirty.
the Victorian era, those who didn't want the attention of certain suitors would anonymously send vinegar valentines.
What is
These
it?
cards were also called penny dreadfuls and were the antithesis of customary valentines, comically insulting and rejecting unwanted admirers.
Wow.
Oh, that's
Awesome.
so fun.
Wow.
I'm gonna tell my daughters
Not
about
the
that when
balls
they
to
have
your
a bad
face.
crush.
Yeah.
Like,
Passive aggressive shitty card.
It's literally a passive aggressive spit in your face. You're
Yeah.
you're less than I don't want it.
Wow.
Penny
It's like a
dreadfuls.
full
Penny
on
I've
smudge.
heard that term. I didn't realize that's what it meant. Penny dreadfuls.
Weirdly, it says they were later used to target suffragettes in the late 19th and early 20th century, too. That's kind of
Which
weird.
is suffrage. That's a women's right.
Yeah.
Right. That's suffrage.
Wait, so these were cards or what? They
Yeah. They
Yeah.
would send a
You would
shit
s-
card because I don't want to screw you. So you suck. You're ugly. I don't like your beard.
Cease and
Please.
desist.
Yes.
Get out. Stay away
Terrible.
from me.
Well,
I have a
and-
restraining order.
Yeah.
Do
now.
you guys
Here's a copy.
well, okay, as the female over here, how many of my girlfriends as we were growing up, like, he didn't do anything for me for Valentine's Day, and so I'm gonna break up with him. Like, oh my God. And then you have the forced elementary stuff. Like, I always, oh crap, it's Valentine's week. I gotta go get stupid Valentine's card and stupid little candies. And now it's COVID, so they have to all be individually wrapped for all these classrooms full of children. How
That
many
was
children?
weird now that you mention it.
Yeah.
You had to get Valentine's for like
Oh, I still
everyone
had,
in the
I had,
class?
to,
100%.
I had to do it until they hit middle school. My daughters are in
that's
7th
weird.
grade. So
so
kindergarten through
everyone
5th.
feels equally
Yes,
special.
everybody had to get
Correct.
the stupid little heart candies with the words on it.
Mhm.
Everybody. I remember this one.
Have
with
you
That's-
seen the heart
That's
candies
another
thing?
fact.
Oh, let's hear it.
Yes,
What's another
yes.
fact?
These were first invented by a pharmacist that was just making a machine to make lozenges very quickly. And those lozenges became Necco wafers. And then those became the candies that he's like, I have an idea. Let's print messages on them.
the
So hearts came
the
from Necco wafers.
pharmaceuticals.
That makes sense.
Pharmaceutical
Yeah.
industry created your little.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
Kiss me
Have-
hard.
They-
Have you seen the ones that say
wonder they're
like F off
disgusting.
and screw you?
That'd
And,
be the right stuff I'd
oh,
buy.
absolutely.
Yeah, you got a link? I mean, we're,
We-
We might be able to carry those in the store.
We've come full circle.
See the comments down below. We'll put it right in there.
yeah, if this
That's
episode
awesome.
doesn't get shut down.
Totally the stuff like
nah,
that.
we're fine. You know, at the end of the day, I never promised that we're going to be PC, that we're not going to cuss, and I don't recommend you having your children listen to the Dark Valentine's podcast, perhaps.
Maybe not the one you'd pull up for elementary school kids.
Now, if you're out gardening, you got that stuff in your ear and you want to giggle, by golly, I recommend it. But
Can we challenge our teachers to get rid of this BS though? Like,
yeah, absolutely. I would challenge any of those status. Okay, so this goes back to separation of church and state in my mind.
yes.
This goes back, and I have a real issue with this, and I'm not trying to get political in any way, shape, or form, but the second the Christianity values dictate what a school entity that is governed by the state government,
taxpayers.
it doesn't, that doesn't play well
Although,
for
can
me.
I take a different spin on it? Is that literally a way to mark your calendar so the teachers have something positive to focus on?
That's fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so because I got,
it's like a keystone moment.
No, well, I'm just saying, like,
or
okay,
it's
it's not math, and we're cutting stupid hearts out. Like, is it just a way for a week at a time to focus on something not reading, writing, arithmetic? I don't know the answer to that, but I'm just giving a.
You're
'cause
valid.
I'm with you as far as the separation.
And I don't know if
especially
any
at
of us
that
know
age
what it's
range.
like to teach.
Right.
And
Oh, well.
elementary school, no less.
30 somebody
I
else's
would,
kids.
I
No way.
would say,
Yeah.
as the parent of
Teachers do what you want.
elementary
I
age
retract.
children in the group during the pandemic, if you are an educator, you are a fucking saint.
Bless you.
And
Yes.
you deserve more credit than anybody who was
Yes.
killed as a martyr because they were marrying people
We don't pay you
instead
enough.
of being pillaged and raped as a
Mm.
female and touched with dead goat and dog skin.
That
We-
got
we
so
should've-
dark.
It
we
did
should-
get so dark, but
Thank
like
you, teachers, is what we're trying to
all
say.
I'm trying to say is like that you do not get paid enough, you do not get
Oh.
taken care of enough, you do not get valued enough. You are so important.
Agreed.
And so if to break up your week on the 14th of February after you've just came off of a month after the holidays and kids are inherently kind, sweet, and disruptive and a headache, if you want to cut out hearts and give out some candy so you don't have to do a lesson plan that day, I donate.
Because
I'm
I
not
feel
gonna
like
hate
that's
on
all
you.
the lessons were. It was never really about the holiday. It was more like
But
we're
no, but
cutting
the-
red stuff out
the
of
school-
construction paper. We're eating little candies. It
Yeah.
was never, they're not
Well-
indoctrinating you. It was just like the decorate in my
Well,
experience.
Okay, so we were of the generation with the rolling TVs.
Yes.
How excited were you when the
Oh,
TV rolled into this?
So happy.
And that was like Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Like you had, I had
You
the
got to
party,
watch
you
a
had the
movie.
cupcakes, and now you got to watch a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I am violated by the rolling TV. One of our math teachers showed us The Secret on a rolling TV.
What? And why would that scar you?
Terrible choice.
This is a bad movie.
Wow. It sounds like a shitty thing to watch at school.
You don't just make something by thinking about it a lot. That's my problem. It's just that
No,
was
no.
indoctrinating.
It's the math. You got to get to the math of it.
Oh my Lord, no. No.
Yeah, I would be crushed if that thing rolled in and it was The Secret. This is the only chance I get to watch rated R movies. Why are we not watching Excalibur for Christ's sake?
So what I'm hearing is if you want to spice it up in the bedroom, have her go in the bedroom and you roll in a TV.
Oh yeah, there you go.
This goes back to the
It's
Cucumber
only a
Thunder
A
episode.
millennial and older thing.
God, right?
True.
That is, and I'm at the older end of millennial. You're in the middle.
We're elder millennials.
We are.
Older
I-
millennials.
yeah.
Those words
Yeah.
hurt my brain. I gotta tell you, older millennial.
Well,
We
so
didn't
I'm
divide
a
generations
cusper,
when
so
we were young.
I'm a Gen X and millennial.
Right, you're like right on the border.
So it's like the forgotten generation. So yes, I'm digital, but Zach is paid to do video for a reason. I have no interest in that whatsoever, nor do I care to understand the technology. While I utilize the technology, while I employ the technology, while I fund the technology, absolutely, I will not do it. I would go to this guy and be like, "Can you build video? Is that a thing?
Can I
And
what?
Build video?"
What does that mean?
yeah.
Okay, therefore,
Apparently
then I
that's
call
not
Zach.
Adam's focus either.
No,
apparently.
exactly. But he was already in Excel Wiz helping us with certain equations that I manipulate differently.
And hold on, you can't be good at everything. Zach doesn't grow bupkis, but we grow things, right? So you guys
his
are good at.
girlfriend grows bupkis, and she's good at it. So there's still things.
I would like the
in
recipe
his
for
house.
bupkis too, by the way. Just don't forget that.
You guys were talking about
Bupkis
seeds
casserole.
and stuff. I have never seen a single seed that I put in the ground
See,
touch the surface.
never,
Don't know what I'm
never
doing
one
wrong.
time. I thought after all these years working with us, we have not turned you to the dark side yet. We're going to send you home with plants in your pocket starting now. You're just going to, your girlfriend's going to be like, what is it? Oh, that's a petunia. Oh, look at some eggplant. I'm going to start packing
Are
your
we
pockets.
sure we're on the dark side?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
No.
I actually
We're going to debate on
made,
that. Let's have a
made
podcast
reference.
where we debate this.
Okay, yeah, we could. So,
We very well could be listening to our mouths.
we're really good.
I like to think we're doing good.
We are. We're
Maybe.
doing great.
Whatever you got to tell yourself to sleep at night.
Yes, that is.
You know, so when okay, I have a question. Everybody thinks of something different when they think of Valentine's. So when I think of Valentine's, I kind of do the like ugh, because of the commercialization of the holiday, but I think of Dracula. I don't know why.
That's legit.
Like
It's hot.
I'm really drawn
It's
to
fine.
oral fixation, man. Like like I get it.
Bite me.
We're having a
Oh,
t-shirt
that
made
is
just for
awesome.
you.
would totally wear that t-shirt. I'm down.
I don't doubt that for a minute.
I think of a specifically white teddy bear filled with sawdust, like the cheap ass ones you get from the fair.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
That you could just feel like how cheap it is from the outside.
That's what you think.
That's what I think of.
Interesting.
Yeah, the one that's like,
Thanks,
you
Mom.
want it to be soft and you're like, I don't want to touch that again.
Yeah, exactly.
And it becomes like a dog chew toy. Yeah.
That's fun.
How about you,
I think I
PJ?
like red roses and cards. I don't know. I guess I'm
Traditionalist
Straight up.
over here.
I have been married for a damn long time, so perhaps that is burned right in.
To
Although
a-
my wife's not into that. I mean,
no, to an all-around badass.
yes, totally. And to be
Your
fair,
wife is a badass.
what I have learned is if you bring flowers the rest of the year, it's way less important on Valentine's.
Flowers on
Like,
other days make
Oh my
they matter more.
God.
In my opinion.
And
I'm
every
not
woman I've ever been
speaking-
around.
I'm not speaking for every
No.
woman. There's some woman that's like, shut up. I
This is
want
my
flowers
chance.
on the
If
14th.
that's the one time a year your lousy husband scrounges up $4 to get you something, you may be expecting it.
Yeah.
Right. So I
That's-
can sort of
That's
see that.
legit.
Your trailer park husband.
Oh, in which case we implore you to level up or
Yeah.
challenge him.
Oh my God.
No.
This is where the violence in Valentine's Day comes in.
Hey,
Kick his ass to the curb.
speaking of leveling up, proteas, by the way, are like almost only available
What is a
around
protea?
Valentine's Day. Pincushion flowers.
Oh,
Okay.
of course you.
And
What do you mean
they're
only
gorgeous.
available? The plant itself is only
They're
available.
in
Valentine's?
season whenever they ship them, at least up to Idaho. In my experience, you can really only get them around Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
A little before our
There are
season.
certain plants
So
that
you
are
can
specific
get
to
weirder than a
Valentine's too.
rose. You know,
You
Yeah, I like
can.
that idea. I
think
like
you
that.
should.
Well, and like if you go to a grocery store right now or anywhere that's got houseplants, they've got cyclamen.
Right.
Yeah, and
so
those are
cyclamen,
great.
cyclamen are beautiful.
Yeah, they are.
And they're really like a Valentine. They're like a December to March bloomer.
Yeah.
And
Super early.
They're pinks and reds and whites. I mean, they're exactly what you would need.
And something that lasts more than 10 days. So this is something you bring home and she'll have it for a month, or in Jennifer's case, like 3 weeks before she kills it. But it'll last more than roses.
Okay, so in my defense, because I actually, when I first started working here, I started a blog that was called The Moss Girl with a Black Thumb, and I had to like quickly extinguish it because it turned out like genetically I actually get how to do plants. I don't know if it's in my DNA code. I have no
Osmosis. You just hung out in that house long
I
enough.
guess so. I did like incubate in a greenhouse to grow up here. I
Mhm.
mean, I played roller hockey in retail as a kid, and I would get off the school bus and go find my dad and crawl through plug house and hang fin tubes under plug tables, and he'd have me patching. And when they plant the hanging baskets, we didn't have assembly lines. We had trailers full of soil, and we had the retail ladies, or it was in retail. They were planting and then hanging straight up, kind of thing. And I would like swim through the soil bin while they were planting to like as a babysitting.
I can totally see you picking it. That just
like, and I had, of course, like I was the little girl that would scream when my mother would brush my hair. So I had a bowl cut at 5 and glasses, and so I looked like a boy until 5th
Awesome.
grade.
Pictures or it didn't
They're
happen.
in the
Uh-huh.
hallway. When we're done, you can go look. My
It'll be in the
brother's so
link
sweet.
below here.
We're standing in a picture with my dad. I've got to be 5. Dewey's probably 3, and it's pheasants after hunting in our matching color blocking Talbot sweatshirts that Grandma got us with the monogram letter. And Dewey's like, "Oh, is that Ben Marshall with you?" I'm like, "Asshole, that's your sister." It's like,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So no, I look like a boy for kindergarten through 5th grade, and my mom made me get a perm to grow my hair out. My hair never went straight again. Irony. So I had short hair phobia until I was a senior in college. My hair was past my butt, and I would sit on it when I got to college. And during dead week, my first semester, one of my sorority sisters, Kara, I said, "If I make the first cut, will you cut the rest of my hair?" Because I was freshman in college, I was broke. So I grabbed my hair and I cut it right here, and she was I'm like, "Just do it." And it was like the best haircut I ever had because like all the weight was off my head, because your hair is
yeah.
heavy when your hair is as long as mine. And
Ask a
it's as thick as mine.
dreadlocks.
I always wanted dreadlocks, but
They're
then
heavy.
I cared
They
for a
seem
friend's
dirty.
dreadlocks. Well, you can keep them clean. They're just, it's a whole
Don't
other
let.
thing.
Yeah, let's not have a
we're not gonna
dreadlocks
go there.
episode.
We're not going there.
Yeah, we're already.
It's all right. I
That's
love
another episode.
my fellow
Happy
hippies.
Valentine's Day
That's right. Happy
and
Dark
Teacher
Valentine.
Appreciation Day.
Yes. And then stay tuned. We are going to, I'm going to plug teachers here for a second. We work with a wonderful organization called Project Succeed. And so Melissa Peace, who also owns Next Level Solutions, what her purpose of that organization, I'm not going to speak to it properly. We've had her on the podcast before, done some stuff with her. She does our website. She's a digital wizard. So if you have anything digital that you need, she is the guy. And then Zach at Focus Filmworks, who is our producer, would also be the perfect one to help you produce the digital things to go through the digital channels that Melissa produces. She's a whiz, but she has seen a need of teachers outside of the district support, right? Because the districts have money, they do what they can for classrooms, but there's still additional needs for teachers. And what that ends up happening is they, out of their own pockets, going against their own electricity bills, their own mortgages, their own grocery bills, their own soccer lessons for their own children. They are taking their hard-earned money that they don't get paid enough for their work and buying more school supplies that they need. And so we have agreed to do Battle of the Nurseries again, and we're pairing up with Project Succeed and then Webb and Windsor's. We're going to see who can come up with the most school supplies. And so stay tuned. We are going to really focus on getting enough school supplies for the teachers. Everything that Moss Greenhouses collects goes specifically to Jerome School District. Now, Webb will go to Twin Falls School District. Windsor's goes to Kimberly School District. So it's kind of cool. You get to have a local footprint and make a local difference. And so there'll be details coming out. We're playing with some ideas to pair with Ladies Night, this, that, and the other. I'm not going to open anything up there, but please know if you are an educator or you are in that field or you're passionate about education, you're a PEO member, whatever, there's some fun things coming down the pipe.
No, and it's a good way to support people that watch everybody else's ankle ticks all day long. So it's a good way, especially if you don't
call
like
them
children.
crotch goblins, and
Yes,
they're
crotch
my own
goblins.
children.
Mhm.
Ankle ticks. Oh, we love your children. We are
Cue
so
the
sorry.
outro.
If anything,
She lies a lot.
I hope we brought you a smile today. Happy Valentine's Day.
Or
Happy
dark
Singles Awareness. And educate yourself to a dark and scary story of a pagan tradition that was pillaged by religion.
Maybe somebody
Because
gets
that's
naked.
kinda
You never
funny.
know.
Yeah, there's a lot of naked in pagan.
Mhm.
A lot of naked. And I can appreciate that. You were born naked, you die naked. Well, you don't die. Well, sometimes you die naked. There's that whole thought that you land in heaven wearing what you died in.
Is there?
No, like
never heard
like
that.
in movies and stuff, you see like,
All right.
It's like an
Yeah.
Egyptian thing.
is it? Is it an Egyptian thing? I have no idea where it comes from. I just
I'd
like
some
in my
hardcore
head,
mascara,
I'm like,
please.
if there's reincarnation and they're like, if there's a ghost haunting in a
Do it
show or
up.
something, they're wearing what they died in. Did you ever see?
It's just
there's-
easy to film. I don't think
I
that's
know,
how it
maybe
actually
that's
works.
what it is. Yeah.
Let it go.
Dude, let it go, Luke. Use the force.
All right, so we invite you to create your own Valentine's tradition that makes sense for
Please
you and your
do.
partner, that does not have to fit the capitalism billion-dollar holiday that Hallmark and every other chocolate and rose company has created. And with that, we invite you to live life in full color. Please share this episode if you'd like to. Listen on all streaming services, subscribe to our channels and all of that fun stuff. We have a lot of exciting things coming up. In March, you're going to see possibly some herb episodes, and then we are playing with the idea of Q&A in the greenhouse. So we're going to have kind of some new things coming. If you have any requests of topics we want to cover, or you want to hear us bullshit about something that is absolutely ridiculous that we have the balls to talk about, absolutely let us know, because we will do that. We don't have any
Not necessarily me, but we will do that.
I'm fine.
Yeah, I was like, PJ and I have no
I
problem.
think I'm fine.
We'll just get
I
Adam comfortable.
Yeah, I'll try. Give it my college best.
He's trying to be PC, and
We'll beat him out of that.
yeah, I was like, PJ and I are not PC very well.
The opposite of
It's
PC.
not like you're listening to a podcast. We're gonna follow our own rules.
Oh.
And with that, we hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day or whatever the hell else you want to call it. And with that, please live life in full color, because plain is pretty boring. Thank you.
Peace.